Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have you told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow"? Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next month, and before we know it, years have passed. We wait for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, the ideal conditions. But let me tell you this truth: the perfect time does not exist. Success doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't show up when your fears disappear. It doesn't knock on your door and say, "Are you comfortable now? Can we begin?" No, success favors the bold, those who dare to start when it's uncomfortable, when they feel scared, when they are uncertain. Every dream you have, every goal you hold close to your heart, is waiting for you to act. Stop telling yourself you need more money, more experience, more time. The people you admire didn't have it all figured out when they started. They stepped forward with what they had, and they built the rest along the way. Ask yourself today, what am I waiting for? Why am I delaying the life I know I'm capable of living? The longer you wait, the heavier your excuses will become, and the further your goals will drift away. The reality is, there is no perfect time, there is only now. Start with small steps. Start with fear in your heart. Start even if you don't feel ready, but just start. The moment you move, the universe starts moving with you. Doors open, opportunities appear, and you build momentum that will carry you forward. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Be the one who aligns them through action. Your dreams will not chase you, you must chase them. And one day, you will look back and realize that the simple decision to start now changed everything. So, I ask you, will you keep waiting for the perfect time, or will you start building your future today? The choice is yours, and the time is now. How many times in life have you found yourself saying, "I'll start when the timing is right"? Maybe you've wanted to start a business, change careers, go back to school, begin a fitness journey, or pursue a dream that has lived in your heart for years. But somehow, there's always a reason to delay. You tell yourself you'll start when you have more money, when you feel more confident, when the kids grow older, when the economy improves, when the stars align. You wait for the conditions to be perfect, but let me tell you a truth that can change your life. The perfect time does not exist. It's a comforting lie we tell ourselves, this idea of the perfect moment. It gives us an excuse to stay where we are, to remain in our comfort zone, to avoid the discomfort of action and the possibility of failure. But what we don't realize is that waiting for the perfect time is a trap. Every day you wait, your dreams drift further away. Every day you wait, your momentum weakens. Every day you wait, you are teaching yourself to settle. The reality is that life will never line up perfectly for you. There will never be a day when all the pieces fall magically into place, when you have all the money you want, when the risks are gone, and the path ahead is crystal clear. The people you admire, the ones who have built incredible lives and achieved great things, did not begin when the timing was ideal. They started in uncertainty. They started with fear. They started with limited resources and imperfect plans. They didn't wait for the perfect time. They created it through action. Think about it. Every single day you wait, life is still moving forward. Time does not pause because you're unsure. Opportunities do not wait because you are hesitant. In fact, waiting often means missing out. That job you could have applied for, it's gone. That business idea you held on to for years, someone else may have acted on it while you were waiting for the right time. That passion you always wanted to pursue, it's still inside you, but your fear has buried it under layers of excuses. Waiting is not harmless. It has a cost. It costs you growth. It costs you opportunity. It costs you the life you could have lived. The longer you wait, the more comfortable you become with waiting, and that comfort can become a prison. You start to believe your own excuses. You convince yourself that now really isn't the time. You tell yourself that you're being wise, cautious, practical. But deep down, you know the truth. You're scared, and here's the thing: it's okay to be scared. Everyone feels fear when stepping into the unknown, but you cannot let fear dictate the timing of your life. If you wait until you're not afraid, you will wait forever. If you wait until you have every answer, you will wait forever. If you wait until you are guaranteed success, you will wait forever. The key is to act despite fear, to move forward even when the timing isn't perfect. That's how progress is made. Action creates momentum, and momentum brings opportunities. Opportunities lead to growth, and growth builds confidence. And before you know it, the imperfect moment you started in has transformed into the perfect moment you were waiting for. You see, the perfect time is not something you wait for, it is something you create, and you create it by taking a step forward today. It doesn't have to be a big step. You don't need to have everything figured out. Start small if you must, but start. Begin writing that book you've been thinking about for years. Sign up for the class you've been putting off. Make that phone call. Send that email. Start the business plan. Go for that job interview. Do something today that moves you closer to where you want to be. Because the truth is, you will never feel fully ready, and that's okay. Readiness is not a feeling, it's a choice. You decide that you are ready. You decide that now is the time. You decide that your dreams are worth the risk, the discomfort, the uncertainty. Think of all the people in history who made a difference, who built businesses, wrote books, invented life, changing technology, or changed the world. Do you think they had the luxury of perfect timing? No. Many of them started when conditions seemed terrible, when resources were scarce, when no one believed in them, but they took action anyway. They understood that waiting would only delay their success, and they refused to give their fears that kind of power. Imagine where your life could be 1 year from now if you started today. Picture the goals you could achieve, the progress you could make, the confidence you could build. Now imagine where your life will be 1 year from now if you keep waiting. Will anything change, or will you be in the same place, still telling yourself the same story about how the timing isn't right? Here's a secret that successful people understand. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. When you move forward, you learn. You figure things out as you go. You adjust, you grow, and you get better. But if you stand still, nothing changes, so stop waiting. Stop telling yourself the lie that you need to be more prepared, more qualified, more confident. Stop using the excuse of timing as a shield for your fears. There will never be a perfect moment. Life is short, and every day you hesitate is a day you will never get back. Choose today. Choose now. Take the first step, no matter how small. Don't wait for someone to come and tell you it's the right time, because no one will. Don't wait for all the lights to turn green before you leave the house, because they never will. Move forward even if it's scary. Move forward even if you're unsure, because the perfect time does not exist, and waiting only delays the life you are meant to live. Start now, and watch how your courage to act begins to create the opportunities and success you've been waiting for all along. Fear is a universal experience. No matter who you are, how strong you may appear, or how confident you might seem on the outside, fear has a way of creeping into your mind whenever you think about taking a big step forward in life. Uncertainty goes hand in hand with that fear. When you cannot predict the outcome, when you don't know if you will succeed or fail, when you have no clear guarantees, fear tries to convince you to stand still. But here is the truth you must understand. Success does not wait for you to become fearless or for everything to be clear. Success rewards those who take action even when fear whispers in their ears and uncertainty clouds their vision. If you think about it, fear is not really the enemy. Fear is simply your body's way of trying to protect you. It warns you about potential danger or failure, but fear often exaggerates the risks and minimizes the possibilities. It makes you believe the worst case scenario is inevitable, and it convinces you that staying where you are is safer than stepping into the unknown. Yet, staying in the same place, refusing to take action because of fear, leads to one thing: regret. Those who achieve greatness in life understand that fear will never fully disappear. They know that waiting for fear to vanish before acting is a trap that keeps you stuck forever. Instead, they take action with fear present. They move forward with trembling hands, racing hearts, and voices that may shake. They do not allow fear to be the driver of their lives. Think about any successful person you admire. Maybe it's an entrepreneur who built a thriving company, an artist who shared their work with the world, an athlete who became a champion, or even a parent who created a better future for their family despite incredible challenges. None of them achieved success because they had zero fear. They succeeded because they acted in spite of it. They chose courage over comfort, action over hesitation, and progress over perfection. The reality is, action is the very thing that dissolves fear. When you act, you gain experience. You learn that the worst-case scenario you imagined rarely happens. You start to build confidence, and that confidence weakens the hold fear has on you. But when you freeze and allow fear to dictate your choices, fear only grows stronger. The longer you wait, the more fearful you become. Uncertainty is also an inevitable part of life. You will never have all the answers. You will never be able to predict every outcome. Some things will work out better than you expected, and some things will not go the way you hoped. But uncertainty is not a reason to stay stuck. It's a reason to trust yourself and take the first step. Success often hides on the other side of the unknown. When you step into uncertainty, you give yourself the chance to discover opportunities that you could never have imagined from the safety of your comfort zone. You open the door to growth, to new experiences, to lessons that shape you into a stronger and wiser person. Consider this: every major breakthrough in your life will require you to do something you have never done before. That will always come with fear and uncertainty. If you let those feelings stop you, you will always stay where you are. But if you push through them, you create a new reality for yourself. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. Courage means you act while you are afraid. It means you make the phone call, send the email, apply for the job, start the business, or step on the stage even though your legs are shaking. Courage is built by doing the things that scare you, not by avoiding them. You must remember that success does not come to the most talented or the most prepared people. Talent and preparation matter, yes, but they are worthless if you never take action. Success belongs to those who are willing to act even when they do not feel ready. It belongs to those who can tolerate discomfort, who are willing to fail and try again, who refuse to let fear be the reason they settle for less than they deserve. Every successful person has stories of failure, rejection, and setbacks. But they kept moving. They did not wait until they had perfect confidence or guaranteed success. They trusted that by taking one step, the next step would reveal itself. They believed that action would create clarity. There will be times when fear and uncertainty feel overwhelming. Your mind will come up with countless reasons why now is not the time, why you should wait, why you are not capable, but you must challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself, what if I succeed? What if this risk changes my life for the better? What if the opportunity I have been dreaming of is waiting for me on the other side of fear? One of the greatest tragedies in life is letting fear write your story. When you allow fear to control your decisions, you build a life of safety, not fulfillment. You end up living small, not because you lack potential, but because you lacked the courage to step into uncertainty. So, how do you start when you feel unprepared? You take the smallest step you can. If you want to write a book, you don't need to know how it will be published or how readers will respond. Start by writing one page. If you want to start a business, you don't need to know how to scale it into $1 million company. Start by selling one product or one service. If you want to improve your health, you don't need the perfect workout, routine, and meal plan. Start by going for a walk today. Each small step builds confidence. Each step teaches you something. Each step makes the next one easier. And as you keep going, you will realize that you never needed to have the whole journey figured out to begin with. The truth is, starting messy is better than not starting at all. It's better to begin imperfectly and adjust along the way than to spend years stuck in indecision. Success is not about having a flawless start. It's about having the courage to start. When you look back on your life, you will not regret the imperfect beginnings. You will regret the dreams you never chased because you were waiting for certainty. You will regret the ideas you never acted on because you were too afraid of not having all the answers. Remember this: the people who achieve their goals are not the ones who knew everything from the beginning. They are the ones who stepped forward despite not knowing it all. They figured it out as they went, and that is what made them grow. You have everything you need to take the first step today. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You just need to be willing to climb the first step. The rest will reveal itself. So stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop convincing yourself that you need more knowledge, more resources, or more confidence. The longer you wait, the more you teach yourself to delay your own dreams. Take a step now, however small it may be, because you don't need to have everything figured out to start. You just need to start, and once you do, you will realize that clarity was waiting for you on the other side of action all along. First, waiting feels harmless. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, next week, next month, or even next year. You promise yourself that once things settle down, once you feel ready, once you have the right resources, you'll finally take action. But the truth is, the longer you wait, the louder and stronger your excuses become. Excuses are sneaky. They start small, almost reasonable. I'm tired today, I'll start tomorrow. I don't have enough money right now. I'll begin when I'm more financially secure. I'm not ready yet. I need to learn more before I begin. Each excuse feels like it makes sense. But what you don't realize is that every time you give in to an excuse, you strengthen it. You teach yourself to justify inaction. You teach yourself to choose comfort over growth, and the more you do it, the harder it becomes to break the cycle. Excuses grow with time because they feed on fear. When you delay taking action, your mind fills the empty space with more reasons not to act. You start to imagine all the things that could go wrong. You begin to doubt yourself even more. You overthink every possible outcome until you convince yourself that now really isn't the right time. Have you ever noticed how much heavier a simple task feels the longer you put it off? At first, it's just a small thing you need to do, but as the days go by, it starts to feel bigger and bigger. You think about it constantly. You feel guilty for not starting, which makes you want to avoid it even more. Excuses begin to pile up in your mind, making the task seem almost impossible. That's how waiting works. What was once a small step forward begins to feel like a mountain you can't climb. This is why waiting is so dangerous. It doesn't just waste time, it strengthens the very obstacles that are holding you back. It allows your fears to grow, your doubts to multiply, and your excuses to harden into beliefs. Eventually, you stop calling them excuses. You start to believe they are facts. You tell yourself, I'm too old to start now. I'm not smart enough. I'll fail anyway, so what's the point? And once you start believing your excuses, they become your reality. The truth is, excuses will always be there. Life will never be perfect. There will always be reasons to wait, reasons to hold back, reasons to stay where you are. But successful people understand that if you give excuses power, they will control you. The only way to weaken excuses is to act before they have time to grow stronger. Think about the things you've been putting off in your own life. Maybe you've been meaning to start a new career, but you keep telling yourself you'll wait until the job market improves. Maybe you want to get in shape, but you're waiting for the right time to join a gym or start eating healthier. Maybe you've been dreaming of starting a business, but you keep convincing yourself you need more money, more connections, or more experience. If you're honest with yourself, you'll see that these are excuses, and the longer you let them sit, the more they will paralyze you. There will never be a perfect time to start. You will never feel completely ready. The conditions will never align flawlessly. That is why you must act now. Action breaks the cycle of excuses. The moment you take a step forward, even a small one, you weaken the excuses in your mind. You prove to yourself that you are capable of moving forward despite fear and uncertainty. You begin to build momentum, and that momentum makes it harder for excuses to take root again. Have you ever noticed how good it feels to finally do something you've been avoiding? The weight lifts from your shoulders. The task you dreaded doesn't seem as bad as you imagined. That's because action is the antidote to excuses. When you act, you stop giving your mind space to invent reasons to delay. You gain evidence that you can handle the challenges in front of you, and that evidence builds confidence. The danger of waiting is not just that you lose time, it's that you begin to lose belief in yourself. Every time you give in to an excuse, You quietly tell yourself, I can't handle this. And the more you say it, the more you believe it. That's how people end up living lives they never wanted. They let excuses dictate their choices for so long that they forget they ever had a choice.